This article about David Hogg really did make me smile. Now, if you are unaware, David Hogg is elected vice chair of the DNC. He was recently elected, and as a result of the Trump election, the landslide victory that he achieved in, again, the Electoral College, the House, and the Senate, the DNC, which is the Democrat Party, they're the people that are giving out the marching orders to the Democrats, they are not reversing course. They are saying, you know what, no, we got it. We know what we want. We want to do the exact same thing we did last time. We want more woke stuff. We want more identity politics. We want more diversity. That's what we want. That's what we're going to do. David Hogg, who I don't particularly like or enjoy, is saying, you know what, that's kind of a losing strategy, everybody. So do you want to win? Do you want to lose? If you want to win, you got to maybe make some changes. And he has suggested primarying safe districts for Democrats to replace them with, instead of the old established DNC figures, with newer, more progressive, or, more popular potentially candidates. That is kind of a dumb political decision, I think, in terms of if we're just looking at wins and losses, that's probably a dumb move because you only have so much money. And if you use that money to primary, safe, these things, you have less to fight in competitive races. So it's probably a stupid move, but he's also starting to now make some suggestions that are not stupid. However, it's too late, buddy. It is absolutely too late. He stepped on the toes of some people in the DNC, and now he's out. He's out. And the way that they are trying to oust him is unbelievably beautiful. I cannot express to you how much I love it. In essence, they are saying that his election was invalid because of some diversity, equity, and inclusion check off boxes, because a woman won the first election for a co-chair or something like that, some position. And the way that the elections work is if the first person that wins is a man, there's your second choice, your second ranked choice has to be a woman. And so because a woman won, their next election that they did said, okay, the first choice has to be a man. And it's just, oh my God, it's beautiful. It's so fantastic. It's so fantastic. I can't express to you how much I love this. Because, again, David Hogg gets elected, no one cares. The person who was the runner-up to his position, I think still made this complaint earlier, but no one would have cared if he hadn't pissed off some of the DNC people. And the DNC is notorious for being unbelievably undemocratic. If you are or were a Bernie supporter, you know this so well, okay? You know this so incredibly fantastically well, which is why I really can't say that I am a fan of Democrats. Even if their policy completely aligned with mine, I would go, the way that they are doing their primary process, the way they run their elections, and I am going to use the fake air quotes, elections, is insane. They pick the person they want. That's the person who gets it. The people that they're being represented, yeah, that's what they get. They get a middle finger, and they get a, take a walk, buddy. We got this. We got this. We know it's good for you. You say you want some progressive, socialism, that type of stuff. Nah, we're not doing that. Bernie, you're out. You're out, buddy. Now, of course, Bernie still, steps in line and, gets it together. AOC, we're gonna go. We're gonna be the squad. We're doing new, incredible, progressive. Hey. Come over here. Nancy Pelosi got something to tell you. You better get in line or else. Okay, she gets in line. They all get in line because the DNC is run like a freaking mafia. Okay, if you step out of line, David Hogg, you're gonna get kicked to the curb. Okay, and my favorite part about this is this might be essentially the last year we ever hear of David Hogg. He is potentially done forever in any kind of Democrat politics, and he has fastened his cart to the DNC Democrat Party horse. So if he gets unclipped from that, he's toast. Very, very likely. He'll probably be fine. I'm sure he's made millions of dollars, but I think it's a very significant possibility that David Hogg is a name we no longer hear in activist circles. He's not going to get invited to these things anymore. He's not going to get the sweetheart DNC deals. He might be done because he's stepping on the toes of these people that do not like their toes stepped on. Now, with all that being said, let me read a little bit from this article. I don't know the National Review all that well. Readers, let us stipulate at the outset that nobody should reasonably care as much as I do about a Democratic National Committee vice chairman. These are not important people. I don't know how many vice chairmen there are, but I am not a reasonable man. I write about politics for a living. Yeah, I make videos whispering about politics, and not for a living, for a hobby. So I think I am a little bit more unreasonable, but I digress. And for a week now, I have been farming the travails of whelpish wonderkind David Hogg for as much comic content as I possibly can, just as I cruelly exploited Jamal Bowman for as long as he retained office. Because I've been around long enough to realize that opportunities like these are fleeting. For, to paraphrase the words of another prophetic martyr, we shall have the poor always with us. But Vice Chairman David Hogg, we shall have not much longer. And this is true. If this latest version of how they're trying to kick him out with the, this election was not DEI certified enough. So, if he somehow were to fight this again, there would have to be somebody that wants to keep him there. They don't. If he were to avoid that, it's going to be something else. They're going to drum up something else. This is not new. He's out. He's done. He's toast. To recap, the Parkland shooting survivor bootstrapped his way from anti-gun youth activist to recent election as one of the vice chairs of the Democratic National Committee. And all this despite having formed that look like they were carved out of balsa wood. Yeah. But instead of being the easily controlled patsy the DNC's grandees and voters expected, Hogg promptly began using the DNC's fundraising lists and prestige to raise money for his own outside super PAC, one designed to take down asleep at the wheel Democratic incumbents. This is the primarying safe Democrats. Now, all of this being said, I think, again, his recent appearance on the Bill Maher show where he's like, look, man, we need to be concentrating on the things young men really care about, like getting laid and having fun. Bro, that's been your focus, and that's been the DNC's focus. That's been leftist, liberal focus, and just general mainstream culture focus for the last 20, 30 years. That's done. Okay? The people that are talking to young men and that are actually encouraging them and, capturing their minds and imagination are like your Jordan Peterson and Andrew Tate types, which are saying, No, 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 no. Getting laid, that type of stuff, that's haram. That is bullcrap. Don't do that. You need to actually start getting into having a family, being responsible, being a provider, going back to these traditional masculine values that are traditional because they are biologically ingrained in the majority, not everybody, the majority of men. So again, he misses the mark. He's missing the mark. You're not winning over any of the people that are in the middle by going, dude, we're gonna get you laid, man. No, it's not happening. But at least he's offering something other than, yeah, no, like, we're voting blue no matter who, and the DNC is picking who is blue. They're picking who the people are that you can vote for, and if you vote for anybody else, you're Uncle Tom, you're a racist, it's ridiculous. I don't like it. I hate it. Is this going to change anything? Are the Democrats going to revolt at the ousting of David Hogg? No, it's not going to happen. That being said, I do think there's a legitimate possibility, small probably, but a legitimate possibility that these are the first death knells of the Democratic Party. We have not always had Democrats versus Republicans. New parties do come around. It takes a long while. But, we used to have the Whigs. We used to have, what was it? The Tories. Not the Tories. What do we have? We had something like that. We had like the Royalists and the Federalists and these types of things. We used to have those parties. They're not here anymore. The Democrats, if they keep doing what they're doing, and they're losing their base, the people that used to vote 99% Democrat every time, all the time, and we could count on those voting blocks, those demographics, without doing anything for them, like screwing them over, they'd still vote 99%. Now it's dropping 95%, 90%, 85%, 80%. From the people that were locks all the time. That's a huge shift, and that's an erosion of your foundation. If your foundation goes, you go. Now, what would replace them? I don't know. That is a good, interesting, honest question. I don't think there is a clear successor. Like, if Republicans were to go away, I think libertarians would sweep up a lot of those people. Not all of them, for sure, but I think they would be able to modulate enough of their stuff to appeal to enough of a majority of the Republicans and the Republican base that they could easily step in to, the place the Republicans occupy. I don't see a version of that for the Democrats. I suppose the only other party would be like the Green Party. But the Green Party is even less influential than the Libertarians in any kind of national election. They don't do anything. They are completely not even in the conversation. I don't even think they get like 1 or 2% of national elections. So I don't know who would step in, but I think it's a real possibility that in, like my lifetime, the Democrat Party is just gonna dissolve because they're losing their foundational support. And without that, they can't honestly hope to consistently win elections. And if that's the case, the politicians aren't going to be with them anymore. So, I love to see it. I think they're a corrupt organization. I'm happy to see them go. I think if this opens up the realm of American politics to get outside of two-party politics, that's all to the good for everybody involved. I'd be very happy to see that. And yeah, I hope it happens. That being said, good luck in all your endeavors. Thank you very much for your time and attention. Let me know what you think down in the comments. And I shall say farewell for